Hello, and welcome to this week's college football blog. We are going to recap what happened this past weekend. What an exciting weekend it was. A couple of upsets and a mind-boggling game. Starting with the Arkansas Razorbacks coming into town to face the Auburn Tigers. What a shootout this game turned out to be, with all eyes on quarterbacks Ryan Mallett and Cam Newton. Newton had a big game last week, rushing for an amazing 188 yards and 3 scores, while passing for 140 yards and a score itself. Ryan Mallett had a good game from the beginning, passing for 96 yards and a touchdown, but then suffered a major concussion that took him out of the game at the end of the first half. But Tyler Wilson, a sophomore, stepped up to the game, and the Razorbacks did not stop their rhythm. They kept playing hard. Wilson had a good game, passing for 332 yards and 4 scores, but threw 2 crucial interceptions in the fourth quarter that helped Auburn pull away with the win. At the end of this big game, the combined scores between the two teams was 108 points, an SEC record before an overtime game, having Auburn win 65-43. After this big game, there were 4 major upsets that occurred. The first upset happened in Wisconsin, where the Ohio State Buckeyes played the number 18 Wisconsin Badgers. How did Wisconsin win this game? By doing exactly what I said last week on my blog. They had to step up big on defense. The front seven just flat out ambushed the Ohio offense, forcing Terrell Pryor to have a season low 89.65 pass rating. Ooh, that's ugly. Very ugly. On offense, the offensive line bullied Cameron Haywood and the Ohio State defense, rushing for over 150 yards and 3 scores with running backs John Clay and James White. What a great game. 2 other upsets occurred in the Southeastern Conference. The first upset happened in Gainesville, where Florida fell to Mississippi State Bulldogs 10-7. Florida has is a big powerhouse from the past couple of years, but had a hard time this year, losing 3 straight SEC teams. This team is a young but talented team, recruiting some of the top players in the country in high school. But they lack maturity and they lack leadership. John Brantley needs to step up to the plate and put this team on his back and progress better into the season. It will happen, but they just need to mature together and mesh as a team. The second upset was the biggest upset of the weekend. South Carolina falling to Kentucky. Please, Kentucky, South Carolina? I know you guys could have did a lot better than that. This team was up 18 points in the fourth quarter, and they allowed Kentucky, a mediocre team, to come back and win the game. This was the year that South Carolina should have won, should at least went to the SEC title. They have a great team, a quarterback in Stephen Garcia, a running back in Marcus Lattimore, and an all-American candidate receiver in Alshon Jeffrey. They have everything put together. They won last weekend against number 1 Alabama, and they're supposed to capitalize for the rest of the season, but it didn't happen. Steve Spurrier put the icing on the cake by saying, hey, at the end of the game, he said, well, we just don't know how to finish. That is your job as a coach. You have to teach your team how to finish the season, how to finish hard. You was on a national spotlight, and the whole world was looking at you, hoping that South Carolina would change in the season, but you didn't. Too bad, but hopefully you guys will get better later on to the season. For my last upset, I have a very special guest with me tonight. I have Leanne here to talk about Texas and Nebraska. We had a bet going on this week, seeing whose team will win. My team, Texas, and her team was Nebraska. She'll explain more about the bet.
The bet was that whichever person's team won, the other person would have to wear the other team's colors. So here I am, sporting a Texas t-shirt, even though I really am a Cornhusker at heart.
Now, I know I said that Nebraska was supposed to win, but as an analyst, I have to say who should win. But in heart, I'm a Texas Longhorn fan. Been a Texas Longhorn fan since I was 12 years old. Big game. But I have to ask you, what happened?
Imposters showed up. The team wasn't there. They couldn't catch. They couldn't run. They looked horrible. What can I say?
No, we were just the better team.
No, not at all.
Yes,
Nebraska just didn't show up.
Okay, Taylor Martinez actually looked like a freshman, rushing for just 21 yards, 1.6 yards per carry. Most of the stops were behind the line of scrimmage by my man, Sam Acho, defensive lineman. Acho, 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 Acho. What a good game and a big upset. But I gotta just give her a hug, no hard feelings. Maybe next time we'll play Maybe next time we'll play for the Big 12 championship.
We'll see you at the Big 12 championship.
Okay.
And let's put a little bet on the line again.
Okay, she's going to wear my shirt again, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry.
And you'll be seeing Akin in the big red shirt, don't you worry.
But I'd like to thank you for joining this week's show.
My pleasure.
And thank you so much. And I'd like to thank you guys for watching this week's recap. With Miss Leanne, I'm Akin McCall. Be easy.